Good afternoon, everyone. This is a weather update for October 15th, 2022. Today, we don't have much going on precipitation-wise in the United States. Looking at satellite imagery, we do have a lot of cloud cover right now that is going over the northern plains into the Great Lakes. We are seeing some partly cloudy and mostly cloudy skies now going into portions of the Midwest, and we also have some cloudy and possible precipitation over Arizona, maybe a little bit of convection, thunderstorm activity going on in Mississippi, Tennessee, as well as Alabama. Now, we are going to be talking about a massive cold front that is going to be pretty much invading the majority of the eastern half of the United States. It's going to be bringing very cold temperatures, especially for October, later this upcoming week. Here's the Climate Prediction Center on the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. As you can see, they have issued some very below average temperatures expected for the southeastern United States going up into the New England area. Again, we have a quite a massive cold front that's going to be bringing a lot of cooler temperatures towards the Midwest, going into the deeper South United States on the eastern half. Looking at the precipitation, we are generally going to see below average precipitation here for the majority of the eastern half, while the western half does see a lot of above average precipitation expected for some of those areas, which means we could have also more days of possible fire hazard again across some of those Midwestern states and the plain states as well. As yesterday we did see that red flag warning across the majority of the kind of central United States. That's because of those windy conditions and very dry conditions that do cause that fire risk. Today we don't have much of a fire risk today across that area. We did see some recent rainfall actually last night across this sort of area right here, and that actually diminished some of those fire risks, thankfully, for today at least. Now here we are looking at the GFS model temperature anomaly, and this is about 6 a.m. today. We're already seeing some of those below average temperatures reaching across the Great Lakes region, going into some of those Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois states. And as you can see, we head about tomorrow, we get a massive cold front again that starts to head south from Canada, and this just kind of dives south throughout the early week. This is tomorrow again around 6 a.m. and this very quickly dives south. We get some very below average temperatures around 20 degrees below average, and some of those very purplish pinkish colors, kind of that magenta color. You're seeing 20 degrees below average from the 850 millibar. So this is a little more higher up. We're gonna look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly here in a second, but as you can see, it's just a very massive cold core that just dives into the whole eastern half of the United States throughout the early week, heading into Tuesday. This just kind of lingers here, weakens a little bit, and generally just kind of heads out of the area. Then we get another kind of warm spike for October, and we might see actually a warmer second half of October after more of a warmer end of October, I should say, not a warmer second half. We're not seeing warm conditions for the whole half of October here, but generally for the first week of the half, we are going to see this Arctic blast heading from Canada down all the way down to even portions of Florida. We'll see some of those below average temperatures for this upcoming week, and then after next week, we are going to see, again, possibly some warm conditions that might linger across the majority of the northern United States and central United States going into the East Coast. And here's the GFS 2-meter temperature anomaly around Tuesday. As you can see, still some very below average temperatures, around up to 16 degrees below average. Again, below that average temperature, historical temperature for October. So generally, we are going to see, we can look at the temperature shaded here, and this is 6 a.m. of Tuesday. We are seeing in the 20s overnight. So this is your low for Monday into Tuesday. You are getting down even near the teens over here in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. There's some of those teens there, 18, 19, That's your low temperature for Monday into Tuesday. So very, very cold temperatures overnight, especially into October. But we are going to generally see these temperatures as we head into later October, even into November. We are going to start to see these more winterish type temperatures as we head deeper into the year. And generally, we are just going to see some very chilly temperatures here, very chilly high temperatures. I mean, you are getting down into the 40s here for Wednesday. High temperature for the eastern half of the U.S. Getting down here into the south, you are seeing a high of low 50s. So very chilly temperatures, and even the southeast is going to really feel this for Wednesday, even going into Friday. And then we are going to see again another warm spike where we are going to see more of these 60s, even low 70s, more of those in the central United States. The southeast looks to get those warm temperatures back around Saturday. So next weekend we are going to see some of those warm temperatures peaking back in there. Look at that, 12 p.m. of Sunday, a lot more warmer temperatures, even getting down up to the 80s there in Iowa, Minnesota. So kind of an October heat wave coming after the Arctic blast. Let's look at the GFS model, see if there's any upcoming storms that have really shown up in the GFS model here. As we move forward here, we are going to see some possible snow over here in the Great Lakes, Michigan. We'll see some of that snow here on Monday, and look at that. We can even look at the snowfall totals here really quick. Total snowfall, and as you can see, we're starting to get into the season here where we start to see that total snowfall model. And as you can see, possibly in some of those lake effect snow regions, you could be possibly seeing upwards of 6 inches of snowfall. And look at this, even a little bit of possibly a foot of snowfall up there in the very northern portion of Michigan. Look at this, you're seeing also a dusting of snowfall for some of these in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, lake effect snow regions. Majority of Michigan might see some of that dusting of snowfall. So some places might see this first snowfall here this weekend into early next week. And looking deeper into the GFS model, we get to about 200 hours out, and I'm eyeing a possible storm, possibly a fall type winter storm that's going to be going throughout the central kind of midwestern United States. This might bring some first snows for some there in Wisconsin, going to Michigan there. Even Iowa might see a dusting of snowfall as well. Northern Illinois might see some of that mix there in there. If it is cold enough there around the 25th of October, we're going to have to watch that closely in these models. That's definitely not exactly what's going to happen, but definitely some systems are showing up here as we get into around 10 days out from now. So stay tuned for more updates. Again, I will keep you updated on the tropics, but as of right now, you can see the National Hurricane Center. No new tropical cyclones are expected during the next 5 days. Tropical Storm Carl did diminish, pretty much just kind of faded off into the atmosphere, and that one disturbance south of the Cabo Verde Islands still is a tropical wave, but we have so much shear across the Atlantic that it's really not going to develop into anything here throughout the next 5 days at least. But if anything pops up in the 5-day graphical tropical weather look, I will keep you updated on that. We'll post any tropical videos that the National Hurricane Center does highlight. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn on post notifications so you won't miss a single upload or live stream. Share this with friends and family. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.